Hello and welcome to English Capsules. Today's capsule, Get Down to Business, Part 2. Get your coffee ready and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again. So here we are with the second part of our business capsule. If you haven't heard the previous part, you can go to there now. You can pause this one and go back to the other. If not, it is not like extremely necessary because we are going to cover some other terms today. So we will do something similar to what we did in our previous capsule. We are going to work with some terms or expressions, and we are going to exemplify and give some and tell you what they are about, what they mean, right? In our previous episode, we tackled some expressions that have to do with the pre, the while, and the post, like the being a candidate, the interview, getting hired, and getting fired. And today we are going to tackle some other terms also related to work, but more specific terms, we could say.
I think that these are some of the terms that we're going to refer to are related like to the daily basis of work.
Okay.
Has to do a little bit with your negotiation probably, and some of these terms have to do with the time when you stop working. But some of them also have to do with like your monthly routine or things that you can see like normally in your office or at your workspace. So in our previous episode, we talked about getting hired and signing a contract, right? So the most likely thing or something you should do, I'm very bad at this, is negotiate your conditions, right? So
Yeah.
conditions are like a series of benefits that you are going to receive because you have accepted this position in a company. Um, I imagine the conditions would include like if you can work from home or not, how many
The
paychecks
amount,
you get in a year,
the amount of hours that you will work.
right? Holidays, the number of days of holidays. You could also, in this case, negotiate the fact of having a private insurance, like health insurance, like a health plan or not. So these are things that you would negotiate in this condition. Maybe the company offers great conditions and you just accept. But if you don't like any of them, the normal thing is that there is like a back and forward conversation, seeing what you can get.
Yeah. I think that if the company is big enough, they already have like a list of conditions and what they provide and what they expect from you. So if you like that, great. And if you don't, I don't know. It depends on maybe the kind of worker that you are or the position that you are going to maybe. If it is like you're starting like very low in the ladder, maybe you just accept and that's all.
And one thing, this is like your private situation, like your individual situation. But
Mhm.
some companies is very common that they have a collective agreement. So this is an agreement that was created between the representation of the workers, which means the union, and the owners of the company. Sometimes this collective agreement needs to comply with some laws that you have in your country. Sometimes this goes beyond the laws. So
Mhm.
this is like Estatuto de los Trabajadores. Okay, that would be like the meaning of the collective agreement. So this is
Mhm.
also a series of conditions that the company needs to or should fulfill.
Here in Argentina, now that we're talking about the collective agreement, um, there is something called unions of workers. What the union does is to fight, let's say, fight for the worker. Like they fight for better working conditions for the employee. And many times you alone can't do many things. But so the union, what they do is to represent the workers. So I mean, they are like stronger than one single employee alone. So they fight for the amount of hours or the kind of, if you get any bonuses. Or now, for example, the classes are going to begin in Argentina in a few months, in a few weeks, actually, not months. So many unions give you like a package of the school objects you will need for your kids. So they are like, they have these things, let's say, but they are connected to your working conditions also.
Now that you're mentioning the beginning of classes and the union, one thing that the union normally does, especially at the beginning of the school year, is to call for a strike. So when workers go on strike, this means that as a way of protesting against the conditions, what they do is they're not going to work as a way of protesting. I don't know you, but my experience with strike is horrible because I never joined the strike, but province of Cordoba decided to discount my hours anyway.
Ah, yeah.
So when that happened, I decided I was going to join the strikes no matter what.
This
So
is mainly, I don't know if all the unions do this, but it's very common, like you were saying, that at the beginning of school year, to have teachers going on strikes because of the salaries. Mainly teachers, because teachers are the ones who have lousy salaries. Teachers working for schools and universities.
well, now here in Madrid, there are lots of medical strikes because doctors
Oh,
are
yeah.
having lousy conditions.
Mm.
So they are asking for better condition, like seeing less patients every day. They should be hiring more personnel. Like the waiting lists here, if you need surgery or things like this, is very long. So this is in the public system, right? So
Yeah.
here, nowadays, we have strikes of doctors.
Which is a shame, and it should be really embarrassing because we are talking about education and health, like the most important things for any human being, and it's like the worst salaries.
So every month, by the end of the month, you're going to get your paycheck, which is the money you receive for the work that you have done.
I get many questions by my students who want to know how do you say when you are not going to work because of a special situation? There are some days, for example, if you have just had a baby, you can go on maternity leave. Maternity leave, yeah, right. So this is like a way to say licencia. That's the word we use in Spanish in Argentina. So this is for the very particular situation. You have just had a baby, but then you can have also a day off. I don't know what the situation has to be. I think it depends on the company. There are companies which are more flexible than others, and you can just call and say, I'm not going to work because this happened. And there are many other companies where you need to let them know in advance when you will have a day off.
This day off comes out of your holidays, like the amount of days of holidays that you have. Well, you can take days off during the year, but this is going to be discounted from the days of holidays. When is
Uh,
a leave, that is the one that you were saying,
yeah, it's
normally
not.
you don't get days discounted because this has to do with a health issue normally. So it's not the same thing. One that you didn't mention is an absence leave. So when you have an absence leave, this means that you're not going to work for a number of days, probably because you are sick, maybe you have long sickness, or maybe you need to look after someone in your family. Maybe you need to look after one of your parents or your children. So you
Okay.
take an absence leave, which is like a number of days that you're not going to be going to work.
Okay, then we can move to, uh, let's say you started to work, but you are not still part of the company, like they are training you to be part of the company. So you are a trainee, for example. And in some other cases, you can also be an intern, right? You go through an internship, which means that you practice at the company, and maybe This mainly happens when you don't have your degree yet. So you go to the company, you practice, and in the future, when you get your degree, there are possibilities of the company hiring you.
So, one horrible situation that we discussed in our previous episode is that they the company can fire you or make you redundant,
Mhm.
in which case, by decision of the company, you no longer work for them. So, in this case, you are entitled to a compensation. So,
Mhm.
compensation is can be either a package of benefits or money that you
Mhm.
negotiate when going out of the company. This in Argentina is like this corresponds to you for the number of years that you have worked. However, normally there is negotiation, like you are going to discuss this and you're going to get an agreement or not
Or
with the
not.
company. If you don't reach an agreement with the company, the normal thing is that you end up in a trial, in a
Yeah.
laboral trial.
So,
Okay, so
okay.
can
So
you tell us what happens at the end of our working days?
after you have worked a lot of years, you can finally retire, right? Happily retire. I don't know if happily, but well, it's your retirement time. This means that you are no longer going to work because you have worked a bunch of years, all your life. So you are now retired.
So one thing that is also connected to this is that some companies offer you a retirement fund. So on
Mhm.
top of the money that would normally correspond to you because of the number of years you have worked, you also get like a bonus package, let's say, if they offer
Mhm.
this retirement fund. So it's like some extra money that you get
Yeah.
when you are not working anymore. So this is the vocabulary we wanted to share with you. If you are in the business world, or well, maybe because out of curiosity in your daily life at work, you need some of these words. If you think we have left anything out, please leave a comment in any of the platforms where you listen to us or in our Instagram account, The English Capsule.
Okay, so before we go, remember to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, give love to our content, and spread the word to help our channel grow.
Also, remember that you can rate our episodes and comment on each capsule. Activate the bell so that you know when our next capsule is out. And take a look at the description and our Instagram account to take more advantage of our content.
Okay, that's all for today. Bye for now.
See you in our next episode.